Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Love Your Love Muscle, our weekly podcast show about meditation, transformation, self-regulation, and all the things that come with that. I'm Seb from the Transformational Meditation Group, the founder of this group, and this group is all about transforming your life and your life of others using all those techniques I just talked about. Today, we're going to talk about shame and guilt. But first, let me say hi to Cal and hi to everyone on Odyssey and hi to everyone on the Patreon site watching this live, the video version of it. And of course, hello everyone tuning in to the recording of this podcast later on. So good to have you all here. Like I said, we're going to talk about shame and guilt. What to do about that? Overcoming it? Should we overcome it? Tips and tricks. We talk all about that today. So on my Mastodon account, I sent out a poll, and also on our Telegram channel, I sent out a poll asking if people have felt shame and found out afterwards that, well, it was actually nothing to be ashamed about. And everybody answered, yes, of course, we all have felt shame. And also noticed that sometimes when we felt shame, it wasn't something to be ashamed about after all. And that's the kind of shame and guilt I actually want to talk about today. Because some people, sometimes, you have something to be really ashamed about, right? That can happen or feel guilty for. The issue then as well is like, how long should you feel that shame? How long should you feel that guilt? Because that is an emotion that is not very beneficial in the long run. It's an emotion, a feeling, of course, that is allowed. It is a human emotion. So it's allowed. It's part of our lives. When do we feel shame? When do we feel guilt? Well, I work a lot with people that are under stress, that work under a lot of stress, and they say to me, well, I can't get my job done. I can't get my tasks done in time. There's always something coming up and I feel guilty about it. I feel guilty not working more overtime to get finished with my work. So those are types of guilt and shame that, of course, you're allowed to feel them, but they're not very beneficial, right? I mean, is it your fault? Really your fault that you can't get the job done in time? I mean, you're doing your best, and even that you feel guilt and shame is maybe a good sign even. It might be a sign that you are actually doing your best, or you're procrastinating. Whatever you do, it's important, and that's step one in overcoming shame and guilt, to pause for a moment, to realize that you feel shame, to realize that you feel guilt, and think about, what does it come from? And if you don't know, we have certain techniques to find out, where does this come from? A heart-brain coherence that we do almost every week is a good example of having a technique there where you can realize and feel and sense more of where this shame, where these feelings and emotions come from. Where do they originate? Is it really me? Or is it the environment I'm in? Is it the time I'm in right now? Is there something external going on? So we're going to practice that. So step one is actually just pausing. Make a pause and realize and acknowledge that you feel shame or guilt. And you can even say it out loud, even saying out, I feel a bit ashamed or I feel guilty. Saying that, uttering that actually releases some energy of it already, calming your mind down. Because what we don't want, like I said, we don't want to run around feeling ashamed and guilty all the time. That's not what we want. That's not productive. If you go along, if you go along with that long enough, you become a guilty person or a shameful person, and you attract more of it. So it's something we want to transmute, we want to transform into something else. Another thing we can do, let me put my notes on as well, is not only calling out the emotion or acknowledging it. Often there is a place in our body where we feel it as well. And it doesn't have to be only shame and guilt. It can be with every feeling and emotion. What do you feel? I talked to a friend, a dear friend of mine, online a few moments ago, and she said to me, I feel down. Not ashamed or guilt, but just down. So that's also a feeling and emotion. It's good that we can feel it. It's good that we feel. But if you go along with that, if you walk around with that down feeling for long, it becomes a depression maybe. So that's not good. But there's also a place in our body where we feel that. And if you want to touch that place in your body where you feel it, don't overanalyze where it is. Just feel where it is. And if you really struggle finding out where you feel it, maybe you feel shame in your tummy, maybe you feel shame in your throat, maybe you feel shame in your head. If you really struggle and can't find out where it comes from, there's always the heart. The heart is our emotional center, right? Even if we say, I have a gut feeling about things or something like that, it comes from our heart. That's where we all have our emotion. And actually, if you're tuning in for the first time to this podcast, of which we already have 257 episodes, can you think about that? I just looked it up. But if you're not really sure where in your body you feel things, your heart is your feeling center. And actually scientists notice that when we change our feelings and emotions, when we change our state of being, the electromagnetic field around our heart, which actually envelops a whole body, so it really is a big electromagnetic field. The information in that field, the frequencies in that field, they change according to how we change our emotional state. So when we change our feelings and emotions, when we change our state of being, that field, the information in that field changes as well. And it comes from our heart. So if you don't know where it is, put your hands on your heart, just touch your hands, put it on your heart like I'm doing right now. And if you remember from a couple of months back, we did a heart soaking technique, which we also can use here. So if you remember that technique, the heart soaking technique, you can use that to try to solve the feelings and emotions you're feeling. If you feel down, if you feel depressed, if you feel shame or guilt, you can let it soak in your heart and give it some loving attention. That will help. So locate the emotion. So one, name the emotion, acknowledge it. Two, locate. Where in your body do you feel it? And if you don't know where you feel it, just put your hands on your chest area, on your heart. If that feels comfortable for you, continue with that. And I will show you in a moment what we can do with that heart feeling. So apply soothing touch is step 3, but we already talked about that. It's like, okay, put your hand on the point where in your body where you feel that emotion the most. And then, if you've done that, and we do the exercise, and during that exercise we're going to do change the channel. So change the feeling, change the emotion. What do we want to feel? And we're going to override, we change the channel. It's like the radio. We change how we feel, we change our heart rate variability, we change the electromagnetic field of the heart, and that signals all our cells and our brain to go along with another feeling that's more beneficial for us. And some say, yeah, but why do you force yourself with that? I mean, but that's self-regulation. I mean, I don't say you're not allowed to feel shame. I don't never say you're not allowed to feel guilt. You're not allowed to feel down. It's when it's going to bother you, when you feel that way for a long time, it's going to inhibit you. It's going to change the way you are. It's going to change your perspectives in life. It's going to change the opportunities you get in life. And that's what we're all about in this group. Every week and every month, we always talk about the way you feel, the way you think, your state of being determines what possibilities are in life, what possibilities come to you, or even better, what possibilities you become aware of. If you are in tune, away, um, if you feel joy, appreciation, or gratitude is a fantastic way to feel. It's a very realistic way as well. Very realistic feeling, gratitude. There's always something we are grateful for. So if you have a feeling of gratitude, if you live in that state of being of gratitude, you will always notice that you will find on your path through the day things to be grateful for, that there will come opportunities on your way, on your path to be grateful for. It's the law. It's the law of attraction, they say, but it's true. It's how things work psychologically, but also quantum physically, to say it that way. So that's what we're going to do. Yeah? Let me see. All right. Oh, hello there, Lost. Hello there, Saffron Tiger. Good to have you here. All right. Sure. Lost says, okay, let's get started. Let's do our little technique to change and transform and transmute shame and guilt. And maybe you don't feel shame and guilt right now. Maybe you feel something else, like my friend who's feeling a bit down at the moment. It's okay. So, first thing we're going to do, we're just going to center ourselves like we always do. And this is just to make sure that we focus on that feeling and emotion we're feeling right now. So take a nice deep inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Lower your shoulders, loosen your jaw. And if you want, you can close your eyes. That's not needed, but you can do that. Feel yourself getting centered and take another nice deep inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Relax even more and let the day go. Sometimes that's even enough. Just letting the day go. Letting everything go. Breathe normally. Wonderful. And now I want you to acknowledge the feeling, the emotion you're having right now. If you feel guilt, just say to yourself, or even better out loud, I'm currently feeling guilt. If you feel ashamed, you can say and acknowledge that that's what you feel right now. I feel ashamed. If you feel something else, a negative emotion, or if you feel pain somewhere, just say, I feel pain, or like my friend, I feel down. Acknowledge it. Acknowledge what you feel. Now notice where in your body you feel this feeling. Where in your body is it? And just put your hand there, a loving touch on that point on your body where you feel that emotion. Don't overanalyze, don't think about it. If you touch your hip and you're thinking why, it's okay. Just put your hand there, a loving touch. And if you struggle finding out where you feel it, go to your heart, put your hand on your chest right there where your heart is. It works for anxiety too, especially the heart focused. Absolutely. And even acknowledging this, acknowledging that you have anxiety, just say, I have anxiety. And where in my body do I feel it? Do you feel it in your heart? Okay, put your hand on your chest right there where your heart is. And focus on that point under your hand, if it's your heart, if it's your hip, if it's your tummy, if it's your throat, if it's your head, doesn't matter. Focus on that point where you feel that emotion in your body. And imagine that you are breathing through that point, breathing through that point in your body where you feel that emotion. Breathing in and out with calm, slow, deep breaths. Just imagine breathing through that point under your hand. And by imagining breathing through that point in your body, you are giving that point in your body a very special focus. If you do it on your heart rate will change. If you do it other parts of your body, just your energy, your calm breathing pattern will soothe that area and thus also the emotion you're feeling. A comforting touch and a comforting breath. Just keep breathing through that point, keep the focus there. Those who are watching me are noticing I'm all of a sudden touching my upper arm without really thinking about it. Now let's do that final step, change the channel. We now have a calm, soothing touch, acknowledging that we feel the way we feel and soothing it, saying it's okay to feel this emotion, but we also want to change it to something more pleasant, something better. So let's say we want to feel gratitude. We don't want to feel shame, anxiety, pain, or guilt, or other discomfort. Let's change the channel to gratitude. You can even be grateful that you're able to do this in this way, able to soothe your anxiety, soothe your state of being, soothe your emotions this way. Keep breathing through that point in your body and create a feeling of gratitude inside of you. Grateful that it's okay to have feelings. Grateful that you can acknowledge them. Grateful that you can overcome them, changing your channel, changing your feelings and emotions, changing your state of being. Other emotions you can try are joy, appreciation, care, compassion. Very good. Now changing the channel. It's not like taking a pill against headache. Something you have to repeat and learn. The more you're able to change your feelings and emotions to self-regulate, basically, the easier it becomes. And this is a mindfulness technique by acknowledging that you have your feelings and emotions, acknowledging that it's okay to feel in a certain way, it's okay to feel down sometimes. That mindfulness practice right there that you're doing. Also make sure that if you notice during the day all of a sudden, hey, I'm getting triggered. I get new tasks in my workplace and I feel anxious about that, or I already know that, oh my, I'm not going to finish this, I feel ashamed. You notice all of a sudden by practicing these techniques, you notice when you get triggered, and then you can take that pause again, and then you can self-regulate and say, no, feeling down, feeling shame, feeling guilt for not being able to finish my work in time is not helping me right now. And self-regulate to feeling joy, appreciation, gratitude. And you will notice that when you change the state of being, things change around you as well. Wonderful. So breathe normally again. Take a nice good inhale. Exhale as you become more aware of your surroundings, more aware of the room where you're in, more aware of the sounds in the room. Move your body back and forth from side to side. And if you have your eyes closed, you can open them. Welcome back, welcome back. So just a short exercise to get this done. And again, try it out. For some people this works right away. Some people it's just a mild effect. They notice, yeah, it just depends on how deep that feeling is grown into you. Wonderful. Okay, a short session this time. Well, short, still 20 minutes, so not bad. For those that want to listen to the recording, they're live right now on Odyssey or on a Second Life or Patreon. Patreon, you will get the video recording tomorrow. The others will get the audio recording on Telegram, on Odyssey, on Vero. And of course, we have podcasts on the usual podcast channels as well, often on Thursday. So there you also can find other podcasts that we did recently. And like I said, we already had 256 episodes, so we're doing good. If you want to follow along, tmg.cosmicnation.co, where you can find more information about our group. You can find more information about our activities, both offline and online. And yeah, also where you get in touch with me and the group as well. So take good care, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your day and evening. Be safe. Namaste.